Have you ever noticed how some people seem to have an almost magical control over everything around them, without even saying a word? They don't shout. They don't beg. They just pull back. And suddenly, everything changes. The energy shifts. People start wondering, chasing, feeling. Now, imagine if you did the same. If instead of reacting right away to everything, you chose silence. If instead of exploding, you quietly stepped back, what do you think would happen? That's the real point. When you stop being available all the time, emotionally, physically, mentally, the world around you feels it. People are used to controlling you through your reactions, your impulses, your predictability. But the moment you choose to withdraw, the whole game changes. Those who thought they knew you suddenly realize they knew nothing at all. Carl Jung once said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to a better understanding of ourselves." Now, think about it. When you become hard to reach, who gets upset? Who tries to poke you just to make you react? It reveals more about them than about you. It shows how much you were still being controlled without even knowing it. You keep giving yourself, just to keep the peace, just to not lose people. People who deep down were never truly with you. With every forced yes, every quick reply, every emotional reaction, you give away a piece of your energy. And at the end of the day, what's left? Tiredness. Frustration. A deep emptiness you can't even explain. But let me tell you why. Because you're too available for people who don't even deserve a minute of your silence. This video isn't about turning your back on the world. It's about choosing yourself. It's about learning what Jung called individuation. The process of becoming whole, real, complete. And it starts when you understand that silence can be stronger than 1,000 arguments, that pulling away, when it comes from strength, not fear, is an act of true power. So now I ask you, looking straight into your soul, how long will you let others control your emotions? How long will you keep reacting like a puppet every time someone pushes your buttons? Maybe it's time to cut the strings. To withdraw, to become a mystery. Because once you stop being available, everything changes. Since you were a child, you were taught to always be there, to answer quickly, to please, to say yes, even when you wanted to say no. You were made to believe your value depended on how much you could give others. But here's a truth that few will ever tell you. This excessive availability isn't a strength. It's a trap. As long as you believe you have to always be accessible, you will be used, drained, and forgotten the moment you are no longer useful. Do you know why? Because being too available makes you predictable. And everything predictable becomes a tool. People start using you like an emotional emergency button. They press it when they need attention, comfort, validation. Then they put you back on the shelf when they're done. You don't even notice it. Because you're trapped in the lie that being there for everyone will make someone be there for you. But it doesn't work that way. Carl Jung spoke about the persona, the mask we wear to be liked, loved, accepted. And it's this very mask that keeps you always available. You say you're okay even when you're suffocating. You answer texts even when you're exhausted. You explain yourself, defend yourself, apologize, as if you owe the world something. But the more you center yourself around others, the more you vanish from your own life. Being available all the time is a silent form of self-abandonment. It's a hidden way of chasing approval, avoiding rejection, trying to control how others see you. But this control comes at a heavy price. Your peace. Your energy is treated like it's endless, when it's not. It's limited. Very limited. People who want you to always be there don't really want you. They want what you give, your validation, your company, your emotional comfort. But when you change, when you set boundaries, when you stop reacting, those same people get angry, blame you, say you've become different. It's not because you changed. It's because you stopped being useful to them. And here's the harsh truth. The more available you are, the less value people give you. Because what is too easy to get becomes worthless. No one respects what they don't have to work for. No one values what is always there. So now stop and ask yourself, who truly deserves your time? Your attention? Your presence? Your listening? Or better yet, who deserves your absence? But before you can answer that, you have to understand one important thing. Why do we react so quickly? Why do we give so much of ourselves? The answer lies in something Carl Jung called psychic energy. And that's what we'll dive into next, because your energy is all you have. And if you don't protect it, someone else will steal it and use it against you. If this message is reaching you, click subscribe and support this channel. Thank you. Carl Jung didn't see the mind as a machine that reacts without consequences. He saw it as an energy system, where every thought, every emotion, every action uses up your inner strength. The real question is, are you choosing where your energy goes, or are you letting the world decide for you? Every time you react without thinking, when you defend yourself against a meaningless criticism, when you argue just to prove you're right, when you try to please people who don't care about you, you waste your energy. And Jung said it clearly. That which you resist persists. The more you react, the more trapped you become. People who live tired and drained aren't weak. They are just misdirected. And here's what happens. When you live exhausted, you become easy prey. Opportunistic, manipulative people sense it. They can see you don't guard your energy, that you react to everything, and they use it. Jung said, a healthy mind knows how to keep its energy inside. That means knowing how to say no without guilt, how to stay silent without feeling weak, how to watch before you act. True power doesn't lie in reacting. It lies in choosing when and how to act. And that's only possible when you know yourself enough to see your own impulses. How many times have you lost sleep over an unfinished conversation? How many times have you replayed arguments in your mind? This is wasted energy. You are keeping alive things that should have been buried long ago. Psychic energy is like a shield. When it's strong, you command respect without even speaking. But when it's leaking, you become invisible, fragile, reactive. And the world has no mercy for the easily drained. Start paying attention to your triggers. What makes you lose your balance? What steals your peace? That's where your energy is leaking. And that's where you must begin your real work. Not to become cold, but to become wise. Not to be indifferent, but to be strong inside. And now comes one of Jung's biggest teachings. When you protect your energy, you break the illusions others have about you. And that bothers them. Because now, we step into a darker truth. The world of silent manipulation. In the next part, we'll explore how opportunistic people feed on your energy, and why your silence destroys their games. Get ready to face those who have been draining you without you even knowing it. You think you're in control. You think your reactions are your choice. But the truth is darker. Most of your emotional reactions are programmed, and those who know how it works manipulate you without lifting a finger. They don't shout. They don't force. They just press the emotional buttons you've left wide open, and you react every time. Carl Jung called this projection, when people throw onto others what they can't face in themselves. But there's another side. The more emotionally available you are, the easier it is for others to project onto you. You know that friend who only calls during a crisis. That partner who needs saving every time. That boss who praises you only when you're useful. It's not random. They're not connecting to the real you. They're connecting to the idea of you. The role you've agreed to play. And why did you agree? Because you were afraid. Afraid of disappointing. Afraid of not being loved. Afraid of being abandoned. The strongest manipulation doesn't scream. It whispers through guilt. When you feel you owe people something even when it's hurting you inside. And here's the key. The manipulator doesn't need to control you directly. They just need you to keep reacting the same way. But when you stop reacting, when you say no, when you respond with silence, the illusion shatters. The mask they put on you falls off, and now they feel lost. Because they don't know who you are anymore. And worse, they are forced to look at themselves. Your silence is dangerous to them. It shows them the inner emptiness they've been running from. And then comes the attack, the guilt, the drama. Not because you did wrong, but because you stopped being their mirror. Jung said, "We do not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." When you pull back, when you stop feeding the cycle, their hidden darkness comes to the surface, and that is unbearable for many. If this message spoke to you, if you're ready to protect your energy, choose yourself, and walk the path of true inner strength, then join us. Subscribe to Stoic Trench, where we don't just survive life, we master it with wisdom, courage, and calm. Stay silent, stay powerful, and remember, in your stillness, you become unstoppable.